to the Underpowered podcast. This is episode 78. This is a gaming podcast where we battle our backlog, revealing what is worth your time, money, and energy. I'm Shelby Stokes, and here today with me, my sidekick, Casey Cool.
This episode brought to you by Peach Bubbly, the drink for people that want to get off soda to pretend they're having soda.
So do you drink that to literally get off soda? Like, are you a soda kid?
Not a soda. I think it's a bubble guy. I'm an energy drink guy. That's actually my big vice, and I don't want my heart to implode. We've had this conversation for years now.
We have, yes.
I've been bad on the energy drinks lately. You know, right before I got the dog, I had a good streak. I just need to quit it cold turkey. I gotta replace my bad habits with good habits. I need to sleep more. I need to eat, pray, love myself into good.
And maybe start smoking instead of, energy drinks, just start smoking
cigarettes.
cigarettes.
Yeah, that's great. I heard that's, according to the doctors in this article I found from the 50s, it's super healthy.
That is a lie. Do not smoke cigarettes. Do not vape, kids. Keep them out of your mouth. It's bad.
No, I'm not into that. No, I'm just going to start dipping chaw like a cowboy.
I'm into bubbly. That's what I'm into.
Yeah, I do like it. It's good. I like a soda. You know what I had? I had a Sprite last weekend from McDonald's.
Oof. Yes.
And something about a McDonald's Sprite is better than regular Sprite.
Dude, I swear it's like one of those secret concoctions made for McDonald's, I believe.
Their ketchup and their onions. That's it. That's something about it.
Their onions are definitely not from the earth.
No,
I just don't think
sweet.
those are organically made.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, these are sugar onions, apparently. Like, how did you they were invented to cure hangovers.
I'm sure I would eat onions all the time if they were sugar onions from McDonald's.
I like onions, but those onions are extra good.
Dude, you can just send us the royalty checks, McDonald's. Yeah. We came up with the idea of you retailing your sugar onions to the world.
Yeah, we are exposing you guys right now. So it's okay. We're okay with it. Sugar onions are here to stay, and we want them.
Dude, sugar onions. That's the way to go. Oh, sugar onions. Yeah, so...
Episode title, Sugar Onions?
I think so, yeah. Okay. I think so, yeah. I mean, sugar onions, the best kind of energy drink, for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's been a minute since I have had an energy drink. I think that my go-to right now would be a Red Bull, just because it's a smaller can, so in my mind it's better for me. But in reality, probably not.
Well, there's these ones I like called Rain, and they're a BCAA, which is a branched chain amino acid that a lot of people use for pre-workouts. Because those pre-workouts that weightlifters use, it's just a ton of caffeine, like a ton. The joke with weightlifters is, I'm living a really healthy lifestyle. Cut to, I'm on enough caffeine to kill a giraffe. Just, it depends on what your view of healthy is. Do you drink a lot of coffee?
I do. I am a coffee fiend. I have to have my coffee every morning. There's an espresso machine where I work, and I have a it's a double shot technically, but it's over ice. So I love it.
So a double shot. So that's 128 milligrams of caffeine.
So high score, is that what that means?
No, like an energy drink's 300. So you're not far away from me. Is what I'm saying.
I love my caffeine, and if I have a big night, I usually want something around 3 to 5 o'clock.
I don't think a little caffeine is bad for you. There's these bubbly bounces that have 35 milligrams, and I think that's fine. But again, not a doctor.
Not a doctor whatsoever. I am a doctor of energy drinks and sugar onions.
I can tell you which ones are good. I can tell you which ones pair best with chips.
I think you should pair them with different entrees. Like white wine is for fish, and Red Bull goes well with
blue energy drinks are for Funyuns.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Dude, I love a Funyun too. We've had this talk. If you want to go back and listen to our episode about best chip, Bugles. And Bugles shout outs to Bugle. Bugles
is where it's at. In fact, I was just uploading all of our stuff to YouTube. So if you're on our channel and you're seeing it, the Hot List Chips episode is episode number 44. So there you go. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, nice. Them Bugle chips were fire. And they liked what we had. Do the loop. So speaking of lists, because we usually do lists of videos.
Oh my gosh, I have been trying to knock some stuff off my list. So I have basically put the finishing touches on Ghosts of Tsushima. Yes. Nice. So I have finished that game. It is a little bit long to my liking, but
needs to be edited down a bit.
But it's also one of those open world games, so you could literally live in that game and go forever, it feels like.
Yeah, it's how
Yeah,
you
and
play.
it's made
Yeah,
by
yeah, yeah.
Sucker Punch. So if you're familiar with, like the Spider-Man games or the Infamous games, yeah,
Infamous. We had
hmm
CK on who just did
yeah,
Extra Life this last weekend, and he was on here last year. We tried to get him back on, but he was like, "Oh, I'm doing it this weekend, but next year." I was like, "For sure." But he worked on those
right,
games,
yeah.
you
And I
know.
actually watched his stream
Yeah.
there for a little bit this weekend. Yeah,
Oh, there you go.
I had to work that night, so I got on really late and watched him wind down a match of Apex. He almost got a chicken dinner out of
Oh,
the deal. Yeah,
oh,
it was
did
pretty
he? Good for
exciting.
him.
But yeah, in terms of Ghost of Tsushima, I really liked it a lot. It's definitely inspired by classic Japanese culture. The samurai movies that you may have seen when you were a kid. This game is based in that lore and in that storytelling.
Nice.
I got a TLDR ready to go. I think that,
We got a bunch ready to start
yeah,
coming out in the new
for
year. It sounds
sure.
like. I think we got some
For
plans for
sure.
everybody
So I think that
listening.
my pros here are fluid combat. Like it's just complex enough to carry you all the way through the story. I thought it was pretty well done. You have different stances with your sword that you can switch between, and each stance unlocks over time, but it also counters a different enemy type, right? So you come against a sword guy, you want to go to the sword
Right.
stance. And beyond that, you can unlock different combos with each one of those stances. So it's more
Yeah.
complex than it needs to be, but I think it's necessary because of the length of the game. I kind of mentioned it earlier. This game is gorgeous, beautiful. If you are inspired by Japanese culture or Japanese landscapes, this is the game for you. The classic riding through the hills of Japan with,
Inspired by
yeah, like
anime.
red leaves falling down, like just absolutely gorgeous. Like I mentioned, there's a ton of game here. I would argue it's a little too much game at times. The main thrust of the story felt like it was kind of stalled out for me a handful of times. Um,
Is the story good though? Like, is it a good story? Is it one that you're like, oh, I need to know the next beat to this story?
they tackle some pretty interesting stuff within the story in regards to game mechanics. So, what you're basically grappling with within the entirety of the story is the traditional samurai way, which is to face your opponent and fight them eye to eye, or sneak
Right.
around and
Right. Face to face,
assassinate people, right? And they really
which is not the
not the
way of the
way of the
samurai.
samurai, but it basically has you going up against your culture or your traditional culture with some of the older characters that have raised you, right? So they kind of
Mm.
come to a head. I know that the critics, when this game came out last year, were talking that it didn't really like go around and sneak and assassinate everybody and then get chastised for it. I thought it worked really well in the narrative. Um,
Yeah. I remember people saying like there should have been like in Mass Effect, depending on how you play, you're perceived by the NPCs a different way. That would have
right.
been cool. Like, oh, you're dishonoring. But okay, are there ninjas in the game?
I mean, samurai.
And they're called
I don't
ninjas.
believe
It's
so.
all
Yeah, it's
samurai.
just samurai, I believe.
So I feel like if you're going around being sleuthy and stealthy, you're a ninja at that
Well,
point.
I mean, yeah, kinda. And maybe this, I don't know a lot about the history of the ninjas, so maybe the ninja came after the samurai. Like, I don't know how that works
There's
out.
this Netflix show that's like it's the history. It's the
Oh,
samurai. Oh, hold on.
yeah.
Samurai Netflix. Age of the Samurai, Battle for Japan, and they talk about the Edo period and feudalism in Japan, and they talk about ninjas and how that came to be, and shinobis and kanochis and all that. Um, so I don't know, but this takes place like near like what time? Did they give you years?
13th
Oh,
century. I
okay.
looked
So
it
yeah,
up
it's around that
today.
same
So
time.
1200 some odd, 1238 or something like that. But it's pretty interesting. I did have some issues with the combat. There were some frustrating parts that I ran up against. They have that thing where the archers can pick you off from a long distance,
Oh,
which drives me
yeah.
crazy. It drives me nuts. But yeah, I would definitely recommend it. I would say that this is a buy and own game.
Really?
I don't know that you're going to want to sit down and play it in one
Yeah.
sitting. I played it in 3 different like
Okay.
runs where I would play it, a couple of hours for a couple of weeks and then park it and then come back to it. The onboarding with the combat system was a little difficult right when you pick it back up, but I thought it really benefited from like sitting down and coming back to it. It's very what's the best way to put this? Very up its own art style, if you will.
Oh, it's like
You
very
know,
like Oh man, I know what you mean. It's just it's
Yes,
full of
right.
itself. Like it's very like
It's
not pompous, but like a hipster.
it's like sit here and write a haiku, and it's very fade in. Look at the landscape.
Is it
Choose next line. Go to the next line of the haiku. So it's very
is it kind of like a high school kid that discovers Bob Dylan and is like Bob Dylan,
yes.
man,
That's
guy.
exactly right.
Like
Yes,
look how
that
hip
is
and interesting
exactly
I
it.
am. Like it's really trying to hit you over the head
Yeah.
about how they have good. It's good taste, but they're trying to hit you over the head about how they have good
Right.
taste.
Yes. A little bit. A
Gotcha.
little bit. It's gorgeous. Like the game is absolutely beautiful, but at the same time, I think to myself, like, okay, this is a little too into itself. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So
Yeah, that happens. I get
yeah.
it.
So I mean, overall, I like it. I think it's a game worth owning. I would say you can buy it at whatever price. I don't know what it's trending at now. I
Really?
know it started at $60, and like I said, this is a lot of stinking game. I didn't pay $60, but I felt like it was well worth the price of entry. Will I go back and like complete it, like 100% it? Definitely not. But I enjoyed
Well,
what I
there's the
played.
director's cut right now too, which is $64, and I'm sure you can get the used one. Did you get to do? Or have you gone and done any of the online?
I did not do any of the online. I did not. None whatsoever. By the time that game ended, I had enough of that game, and the DLC is a whole nother island which I didn't even touch. So there's four main areas. I played three that were included in the base
Okay, how
game.
many hearts would you give it? Now the heart scale for people want
Yeah,
to know, it's how we feel, right? We could tell you to buy it, but like we could say it's a buy it and
that's
know
how we
that
feel.
we respect it, but it maybe wasn't for us, so we only give it 3.5 hearts, right? Something like that.
I would say that I feel like I'm always landing in about the same spot, but I would say it was a four and buy it. Maybe even a three and buy
Three and a
it. Like I
half.
appreciate it. Yeah, let's go 3.5 and
Okay.
buy it. I think this is well worth the price of admission, but at the same time, I understand that it's slow. I understand that it's too long. I think that people that are better at games might find the combat a little too
Oh,
elementary. I found it challenging
really?
at times. I kept trying to do some button mashing and it didn't work out
Yeah.
for me. But I would say this is a game to have on your shelf. If anything, just to roam around feudal Japan and look at the beautiful
Are the
landscape.
enemies? Is there differentials to enemies, or is it kind of like this is just this guy but in red?
So they have probably probably closer to six different enemy
Okay.
types, and then what they'll do is the armor will represent how difficult
Okay.
the enemy is to take down.
What's the most enemies at once you fought? Let me ask you that.
Oof. I mean, they put you in full on battle sequences where you have to take out eight guys at once. And what I found is, I'd run to the archers because I was sick and tired of getting picked off, and then you could find counters to each one of the different enemy
Oh,
types. So I was impressed. I thought it was a pretty good game. The sword fighting feels like it has
feels
weight,
legit.
which
Okay,
which I
that's good.
appreciated. Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I mean, if you're a game about samurais, in your sword game, your sword fighting
Yeah,
wasn't good. That's kind of a
yeah,
non-starter at
for
that
sure.
point, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
that's good. I'm glad. I would probably really like that. It's interesting to
well,
hear.
when you buy a
Uh,
PS4, I can just lend you my copy, man.
yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I told you if I get anything else, it's a Series
Ooh, is
S.
that in stone? Is that for real? For real?
If I
Yeah,
were to do that, yes, but or just Game Pass, and I'll wait till they can put it on TV, and we'll talk about that in the
yeah.
news later. But
But
yeah, no, I got a
yeah, what
game
have you
that
been
I've been
playing?
playing that is really fun. I play with my wife and
Whoa.
my son.
Oh
Overcooked
no.
2.
So you and your wife are
Dude,
now divorced. Your kid is
no, she
really?
liked it. She's like, this game is stressful. And we were both like, we need two more adults. He's weighing us down. I go, I know, but he's trying. And he's like, he's running, he's panicked, and like he feels good. Like we beat the level, but he's not quite sure. And if he doesn't get to do the job he wants, he was getting a little frustrated. He's like, I just want to wash the dishes. I'm like, you gotta wash the dishes and bring us the plates, dude. It's a total. It would be a great party game with four people. I don't think it's like a. It's not like Mario Party where you hate each other at the end. Like you're working cooperatively for a goal, and as long as communication's key, if everyone says this is my job and I'm going to do it. Like, did you ever have you ever worked in a restaurant?
Yes, I used to be a busser.
Okay, yeah. So you just have someone be the expediter and really run it, and then someone's like, "Hey, I'm going to do this, this, and this." You just play your role, and then it's just you're yelling at each other all the time, but you can't like. you're in my way. Like, you got to know what's going on. So someone's just got to be the quarterback and say, hey, get this, get this, get this. And then those people do those tasks.
Yeah. So how far into it are you?
Like the second level, second
Okay.
world. I need to play with more adults. Like, I don't know how it's not a solo experience. I don't think it would be fun as a solo experience.
I had never tried, yeah, but I think the computer would be your secondary component, right?
Yeah, and you can play with 2 players, but still, even then, it's like, oh man, there's so like you're gonna get frustrated with 2. You have if you could play with a full 4, it'll be a nice, easy, fun experience. And if you want a challenge, you can play with 2. I'm not necessarily into it for the challenge because I don't like want that stress, but it's a fun party game. If you have I would recommend it for a party game. I would say to buy it.
Nice.
And I'd also say it's a 3.5 hearts because of its price point. It's about $15, and you get it on sale after Christmas for 10. I would get 3.5 hearts. Price point is what's ideal about this game. A $15, $10 entry is not a huge ask. That's 3 visits to Starbucks if you really want to think about it that way, right? But if it's for people that if you like to play games with others, right? Like if you want to entertain and have people over and like, hey, let's have fun doing this tonight. You get a couple games. It's up there. Like it'd be a good like Mario Kart or this or that. But the thing is, because the levels have an end, you don't get the same replay value as you would from a Mario Kart because you're not battling. You get to know the courses, but it's still something fun to do, and you can play with anybody, any family member. I can see my parents having fun with this.
Yeah, and it feels like there's always one more thing that you need to be doing. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like you're supposed to be washing dishes and this and that, and then before you know it, you forgot.
You can't just do one task. You have to have 2 to 3, right? And you have to be aware. And you can move things. So we found out you can move the cutting boards so they're like in a better spot, right? So that's kind of good. Yeah. Because my wife was like, "Where did the cutting board go?" And our son was running around with it, like, "I got it." And they're like, "No, put it on the table."
Oh, that's awesome. That's cool that you're able to play with the family too. So you've been playing that pretty consistently?
Yeah. We played it for like 2 nights of a weekend, and then the Animal Crossing update came out, and my wife told me to get off the Switch.
Oh, yeah, that came out this week,
yes,
didn't it?
Did. She's enjoying it. The coffee shop's cool. There's some other little nuances for building. I haven't really paid too much. It's not enough to draw me back. Like, I want more content. I want to be able to do more to my island and all that good girl. And, yeah. If you're an Animal Crossing fan, this is the last unpaid DLC. I want to see what the paid stuff's going to be.
So are they confirmed doing a paid tier?
They're saying in their marketing this is the last unpaid, very clear. So to me, reading between the lines, if we do more, you're going to pay.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that as long as it's substantially more. Like, give me a city I can go to. Give me something else to build besides my town.
But isn't that essentially what that game is? Like, I can't really imagine them going any further than they already have. Like, they've never put a city in any of the other games, have they?
Not yet.
Gotcha. Not yet.
Or give me more islands. Let me build like another hub somewhere. Like give me more storage. Give me just more to develop. That's really what I need. I need my island to be bigger. I want to go underground.
You want to go underground? Subnautica Animal Crossing edition?
Yes, with Rossetti. I saw Rossetti's back to the mall. People were happy to see Rossetti. But yeah, that's about it. And then there's one other thing I got into, and it's because of you.
Ooh, tell me more.
Well, I think we'll get back into it. But is there anything else you're playing?
Yes, I also finished off Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice.
Is that the one about depression?
Yes, very much so. Yeah, like psychosis. The
psychosis.
Yes, the lead character has psychosis, so you have voices in your head the entire time. I had kind of played like the first 3 hours of this game and wasn't crazy about going back, but it was on my Xbox, so why not? And I ended up getting into it, and it took me a little while to get on board, but once it got its hooks in me, I kept going, and I saw the credits of it earlier this week. It really has something to say in regards to mental disorders or blockades that people are dealing with. And I was really impressed to see how they handled that. But they also go on to try to have the main character cope with loss and inevitable death. And I think that is something that not a lot of games tackle very well. And I think this game does it very, very well.
You obviously haven't played the Kanye West video game.
Kanye is a video game? Finally.
Yeah, it's an allegory for the death of his mom and his mom going to heaven.
Oh man, yeah, I missed that game, regretfully.
I would play that for a charity stream.
Yeah, sure, why not?
actually a world where these demons are there, or is this all just their
Didn't
reality within their head?
really full on say, like it didn't actually come out and say, hey, this is what is exactly it's going on. They leave it open ended. I think if you were to play this game right when it released, you'd leave there going like, huh, I believe this, that, and the other, and not having any substantial evidence of what what had actually happened. But because we know there's a Hellblade 2 coming, we have to assume at this point that the main character lives. Yeah, so I enjoyed it. I feel that the combat
But do you think she's
is,
in her head? Is it a real world, or is it like a made up place in her head?
I believe I believe that it's in the real world,
Okay.
but she is like she's going into Norse hell. Basically
Oh.
Not Mil, is it Milgard? No, it's not Milgard.
Oh,
It's
I think it's right. No, Milgard's the
no,
construction company.
no, Milgard's Earth in Norse mythology. Helheim. Helheim. She's going into Helheim,
Yeah, that
which is
sounds right.
essentially hell, right? So she is battling demons. I think they're figments of her imagination, but really it's to the interpretation of the player.
Niflheim, Niflheim, Niflheim,
Yeah,
Niflheim. Yeah,
Nilfheim, I think is
Nilfheim.
how it's said.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty good. I felt like the combat was a little too complicated and a little too challenging. I kept dying and cranked it down to easy and enjoyed my time much more following that. I think that this game is a piece of art.
Really.
I think that it does a great job on executing on what it's trying to do. It's a beautiful game. They've got it. They've got some upgrades for the X series and S series on Xbox, which is where I played this. I thought this game was awesome. Uh, I would definitely recommend it, but I also think that this game is another game that is very much trying to do something. It knows it's artsy, and if it's not up your alley, it's not going to be up your alley, right? So I think that this is more of a try it or rent it type experience.
And you said
And
it's
then
on Game Pass.
it is on Game Pass. Yep. It's by Microsoft Studios, so it is on Game Pass, and they are coming out with another one. The puzzling in this game is pretty darn good, but at times I felt like it lacked direction. Like I didn't know where to go next or what to look at next. And you know me, Casey, that's highly frustrating for me.
Yeah, yeah. How long
Yeah.
did it take you to beat?
I would guess 9 hours. How long
Nine.
to beat has it at 8, but I kind of took my time in spots
Mm,
and got lost a few times and didn't really know where to go, so I had to
okay.
consult a guide.
Okay.
But I thought it was good. I
And
would
that's
say
okay.
try
I want
it.
to normalize starting. We can look at guys. I want to normalize that. It's an
Heck
okay
yeah.
thing.
Well,
If you're a busy person and you just want to like get and enjoy your game and you get stuck,
but
do it.
see, part of me struggles with that idea just because I think part of the game is figuring out the game, right? So I'm one of those
Yeah,
guys that will try it 3 times, 4 times, and then go to the guide.
as my son says, three before me. He learned
Three
that from his
before me.
teacher, right? Or we talked to him about that. Like, you try it three more times before you try to come and get me.
Yeah,
That's
for
our
sure.
rule.
So, I mean, I think this is a solid try it. I think it's definitely a piece of art. If this seems up your alley, go for it. I think it is very reminiscent of A Plague's Tale, which I played last year and
Oh
talked
yeah,
about on this
yeah, I remember.
cast. Also, in that vein, What Remains of Edith Finch, which is a game
Oh,
that I enjoyed quite a bit. It's a narrative heavy linear game and
hipster game.
decent. Yeah, decent. Yeah, I think it's beautiful and worth playing. So, how many hearts would I give this? I would say try it and probably 4 solid hearts. I
Wow.
enjoyed this game. I think there's a lot of heart in it, but I think if it's not for you, it's not for you. Which takes
Yeah.
me to my third game, a game that is not for me.
Okay. You.
Dragon Balls Fighters
Yeah.
Z.
Yeah. It's not. I mean,
Yeah,
it's a fighting game. I'm not surprised that you're saying this for
yeah.
you.
I think you played a little bit of it as well. Now, did you enjoy this, or did
I
you?
enjoyed it, but I know I'm not going to get good at it because I don't have the time to like it. For those people that are in the fighting game community, FGC,
Mhm.
they're good at that game because they put hours into that game. They might play a array of fighting games, but there's that they have like one that they love, and that's their game that they put hundreds upon, if not thousands of hours in.
Mhm.
Like those pro players, like they play other games, but they play that game every day.
Right.
And I Smash is my like main fighter game that I will put tons of hours on, hundreds upon hundreds, or I have in my life. DBZ Fighters, I can respect it, I like it, but I'm not. It's a joystick. Like you need a traditional arcade stick.
Like an arcade stick.
To be really good at it, and I'm playing it on the Switch, and I just like it because I think it's cool. I want to see it. And it's $5 is not a huge ask. Like, all right, sure, but no, it's not.
Really,
like,
you paid $5 for that game?
Yeah,
that is crazy slow. I had no idea.
Yeah, like Namco Bandai does great sales every few months, and I always like have them on my wish list. So yeah, I got that for $5, but I didn't get all the DLC. Like I didn't get Master Roshi. I don't have all the characters.
I don't know that you need the DLC. I mean, I got enough of this game through Game Pass, so I didn't pay a dime for it. But I get it. Like it's a fighting game and it's Dragon Ball Z. It's gorgeous. Like it's beautiful. I would love to watch this at what's the fighting tournament that you're always big on?
Evo.
Yeah. Like I'd love to watch it on Evo.
Or CEO.
But
there's a bunch, yeah.
Not for me. Not for me.
Not for you.
Yeah, not for me. So I'm gonna drop that one from my list completely.
So actually, it's funny that you talk about Dragon Ball Z though, because I have a different anime game.
Oh really?
Yeah. So remember you were telling me you got back into Naruto? Okay. So months ago, back when I bought Dragon Ball Z for $5, there was another sale. Because it's the same Bandai Namco for the Naruto Shippuden Storm trilogy.
Ooh.
You got Naruto Storm 1, 2, and 3 for like $30. And if you buy those games separately, they're each $20. So it's like 50% off for 3 games, right?
Oh.
And I'm so happy. So I played 2 and beat 2 back in the day on Xbox 360 and loved it. It's the story of Naruto. It's Naruto Shippuden. Like you go from in game 2. Well, okay, game 1 is base Naruto, him becoming his ninja way and going through that. It has its issues. The combat's not as fluid as you'd like it. There's these cool missions where you have to like run up a tree and dodge things that come near you, and you try to get to the tree, or you race through a forest and you try to get this dog in the forest because there's jumping through the forest. Like learning how to control your chakra was a big part of early Naruto, right? But the second one has these really fun battles where you're fighting the computer, and it's a fighting game, right? And then they do these cutscenes where you have to do timed buttons sequences, and you get stars, and depending on your star rating, you get like an anime cutscene or whatever. And they're really well drawn. My son is really into it. He's like, can we watch Naruto? And we watched the first 10 episodes. And my wife said, this is not appropriate. I was like, he's got to learn the ninja way, honey.
I wish I could be a fly on that wall. I'm sure your wife was not happy with that.
So my son just walks around and goes, play Naruto Uzumaki. He likes saying that because he's Uzumaki. He just says that to me every once in a while. I'm like, yeah, dude. The one that I haven't touched is the third one. The first one I'm not super interested in. My son likes that because you can walk around the city. But the second one, that reminded me what I loved about it. And the third one picks up after, and it's like the end of the Shippuden story. So I think for people that want to get an abridged version of Naruto and learn about Naruto and they want to play a video game, that's a great game to, if you can get the trilogy like I did for a deal, do it. If you know about Naruto and you play the games, if you've gotten 1, skip 1 and get 2 and 3, or just get 3. Or there's this new one about Boruto, Naruto's son.
So you think this is a better way to ingest the entire tale of Naruto than the series?
Yes. If you're not invested into watching a full anime and you don't have the hours to do it, I also came to the conclusion when people talk about like with One Piece, I have a love for One Piece, but watching 1,000 episodes is a big ask.
Mm-hmm.
I read it. If you read it and you find it and you can get access to it, like if you pay for Shonen Jump or Viz Media publication, reading 100 chapters is way faster than watching 100 episodes.
This is true.
Because a chapter's 20 pages.
Gotcha.
Right? And they're panel.
See just the saga seems so intimidating, and I think if I was going to go back and ingest or kind of take in an entire anime, it probably would be via video game. So it's kind of nice that they have this option for people.
Yeah, then you can know the character. You're like, oh, I know that guy, and he's cool. Like you don't have to be. It depends if you just want to know about Naruto and have a general understanding and appreciate it. Video games are a great avenue to go. And because you can get those 3 games for $30, like I gotta say, buy it, dude. And I give
Yeah.
it 4 hearts because it's just so fun. And I'm a huge Naruto fan, but they're fun games, and
Mhm.
it's you can play as you go, learn the story. And those for Naruto fans or love Naruto and haven't gotten back into it because they're not into Boruto, it's a good nostalgia drip. Like, oh yeah, dude. Because I hang out with 7th graders all day that are into this and it's new to them, and then we're talking like who's a cool character, who's not a cool character. I'm like,
Really likes the dog character. Well,
Millie
that's
likes the
cool. I
dog.
know that back in the day we used to watch us a lot of Naruto, and I know the kids are really into it right now. My wife is also a teacher, and she said all of the kids are into the Naruto right now.
Dude, anime's huge. Anime is
Yeah,
huge. Now I'm trying to get kids on One Piece as much. I go, listen, One Piece is GOAT. That's all you
dude,
guys
you
need to know.
get them on One Piece or get them onto Netflix.
Oh, actually, 2 things on Netflix as we move into our speculation news network. They just announced the cast for the live action One Piece Netflix TV show.
Ooh, are you excited?
Okay. The live action anime adaptations have been pretty bad.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna hope that law of averages, that they've had all these bad ones, that this will be the good one. Like, okay, they gotta hit on one of these,
You
right?
have to, right? I
Right.
mean, they got to get good eventually, or they're not going to do them anymore. And the anime market is so stinking big, they would be silly not to try to tap into it.
What do you think the number 1 selling comic is of all time? Like series. What series do you think is the highest?
Well, it's got to be an anime after that, right? I mean,
Not number 1. Number 1, it's a traditional comic. What comic book superhero do you think is number 1?
I don't even Superman.
Superman's number 1. Who do you think is
Okay.
number 2?
Batman.
One Piece.
Really?
Number 3 is Batman. One
Huh.
Piece has sold 480 million copies.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's only behind Superman.
Huh. Go figure. And now Superman's not even that cool anymore. What happened?
Marvel.
Marvel happened for sure.
And then Zack Snyder.
Yeah, for sure. So also within the gaming news, Netflix finally launched their app, right? They launched their gaming app. There's been rumblings of them jumping into the gaming world for a while. Today's the day.
Well, it's been on Android, I guess, for a while, but now it's on iOS too. And they have the Telltale games. Like and I noticed this a while ago. They have the Minecraft story mode on there, but you had to have a certain type of browser to interact with it. Cool. If it's like Game Pass, this is just what we've been saying. The apps are coming. Gaming apps are coming. Systems are just going to be a thing, and it's going to be all TV, and you're just paying for an app.
Yep, it's going to get here eventually, and it came a little quicker than I would have thought, but hey, at the same time, gotta do what you gotta do.
No, people saw how well Game Pass is doing, and then Sony's store. I'm sure like we have Sony fans tell us how good their online version of the library is, but Sony doesn't market it like as well, in my eyes, as Game Pass. That's they're pushing Game Pass.
I mean, we also have me here as well, though. So I mean, I've been a big Game Pass proponent. I think that you can get your bang for your buck on and on with that.
Yeah, but I also think a PlayStation fan would tell you the same thing. Like, yeah, they don't promote this thing enough. But back to the story. Ooh.
So I don't think this is on Android yet.
Yeah, it is. It was on Android first. It just got on iOS.
Are you sure?
I Googled it.
I did not realize that this app was on Android. I would have downloaded this right when it came out. I can't find the link, so I'm going to keep looking, but I want to try this out. Have you tried any of this out?
No, it just got on iOS today, so I'm going to look at it. I did get a new phone.
Oh,
I got
nice.
the 13. I'm liking it.
Very
big screen for my old man eyes that I'm getting.
Oh, so you have to download this then if you have a brand new phone.
Yeah, I'm going to, and I will report next time we're on here because there's some games on there I would love to try the Telltale series. I think those are kind of up my alley.
So is it like Telltale proper or is it Telltale-esque?
Look.
5 games. Stranger Things 1984, that's the one that came out. Stranger Things 3, the game. Shooting Hoops, Card Blast, and Teeter Up.
But I saw some Telltale stuff too.
Maybe that's coming. I don't know.
Yeah, they showed Dragon's Dogma, which is that game I played on.
No
yeah,
way.
Dude, that game's. Listen, I've been thinking about that game a lot, and I did enjoy it. And I've almost been tempted to start a new file or go back to that game. If you can get it on there because they want to do it's worth a play. We had Mark on from Box Pop. Remember, he worked on that game, and he's big proponents saying
Right.
it was ahead of its time, and it definitely is, because they're talking about bringing that franchise back. But I want to play Minecraft story mode or
For sure. I think that it's going to be something that's definitely going to take the world by storm. Like, good on you, Netflix. You came through. Hopefully, these games are decent. Like, nothing is jumping off the page for me right now, but that doesn't mean it won't. So keep on keeping on. They're obviously going to push in that direction because Netflix will be one of the big five megacorps
yes,
that
that
eventually
represent our
run
country:
human
Google,
existence.
Disney, them. Um,
Yes,
Speaking,
Amazon,
um,
and
I
we're
mean,
good.
and as long as they don't get into NFTs, I think Netflix will be fine.
Dude, I don't know. I've been down the NFT hole. There's some crazy stuff going on
There,
with
I
NFTs.
know if you talk to artists, a lot of artists really hate them, but I also know that there's a lot of artists who make money off of them. They're bad for the environment. I don't think they're great for them, is my understanding. But
There's a lot of sketchy stuff going on around NFTs. Like, I don't have any doubt that the technology will stay, but I think there's a lot of quick cash grabs that are
yeah,
coming out right now, and this feels that way. So this next story that Casey is alluding to is Geoff Keighley promises no NFT
yeah,
stuff at this year's Game Awards, which is probably the safe bet. Like, there's been some news stories going around from NFT land that they're basically there's been a couple that have been broken wide open that have been huge
yeah,
scams. We're talking millions of dollars just gone overnight. So this is the safe bet for them to make.
yeah. I don't get it. Like I'm that guy. I'm like, what's like? You're buying a digital right? Like some people have bought digital rights. Is my understanding too. Like YouTube videos, like the Charlie Bit My Finger, like they own that. I guess. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Okay, you own it. Cool. I can go download it and have it. It's not hard to get.
Yeah, but you could also take a picture of the Mona
Right.
Lisa, right?
It's same thing.
So
But
exactly.
you know what
So
though?
I mean,
You know what
like,
though? He can say he owns it. You know who really owns it? The original uploader, because they have it. Because they're the one who created it. So you don't really have it. You know who has it? The
so
original person.
it only works if people believe that they own it,
Right.
right? And when there's a group of people that believe that they own it, they can then fetch there is a ticket price for that, right? So they can sell it to the next guy down the line who thinks that they should own it. So that's like it's an interesting time because it's creating a whole new economy that no one has ever seen before.
Economy? Is that like
Economy.
a business
It's
anime?
French. It's
Oh, it's
French.
French.
Anime.
What you just described is a pyramid scheme. Like
Basically, I mean,
if you
people.
make them think, and then you get 10 of them, and then they pay you, and then you pay
Right. Yeah,
me,
exactly. American dollar is only worth what we all agree it's worth, right?
it's all fake, right?
It's all fake. I mean, it's just green. It's green paper. It's green paper, which is why you should give me all of your green paper and we can call it good.
Okay, and you can give me all your Bitcoin, and then we'll call these good.
Yes, which I own absolutely none of. Like, though I love talking about NFTs and cryptocurrencies, I own
I
none
don't
of it.
really. I don't. Something I don't know. I'm glad that he's taking a stance because it seems like it's not necessarily a great thing. But I also saw like Square Enix is doing a lot with chain blocking. I think digital currency is okay. I'm not opposed to that, but
Well, here's the deal. Like, gaming is the low-hanging fruit of the
right.
NFT. They are going to be the easiest ones to convert because we've been buying horse armor for the last 15 years, right? So digital asset is not a
Right.
stretch
You
for a
Pokemon
game.
cards, like
Yeah,
you own the NFT, but
hmm
it's there. I don't know if
exactly.
Pokemon will do it. I don't think they will, because then like I own this. You own that Pikachu card. You don't
I
own the
bet
Pikachu card.
you Pokemon eventually comes around and it will be the biggest NFT to hit the market.
Oh,
Now,
if they do, yeah. You know I'm getting Bulbasaur. I'm busting down that door. Venusaur is mine.
yeah, NFTs got to figure their stuff out first, but once they have it figured out, I think that Pokemon will be probably the most sought after NFT out there.
What Pokemon NFT you buying?
What Pokemon? Ooh, I want like a Diglett.
Okay, the mole. The
The
dude.
mole, yeah.
Okay, all right. Interesting choice. You know, there's always the saying. I've gone to it. Some Pokemon is someone's favorite Pokemon. You know what I mean? Like like
Yeah,
who likes this? Somebody likes this. This is somebody's favorite,
somebody.
right?
I mean, Rattata was always cool, right?
Rattata.
Just a little rat, scrappy. Yeah, Rattata.
Rattata. No, I mean
Sure.
I don't know. He's all right.
I don't know. Ditto. Ditto would be a good
Oh,
one.
Ditto, the Anamorphous Blob. That
Yeah, for sure.
Ditto is the the Madame, the Lady of the Night of Pokemon, because you use her use them for the breeding, because they breed with every Pokemon, and you get that.
That doesn't feel great. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I'm just saying. This is a lot about you.
Yeah, you better get the ditto off me. For sure. So in terms of one thing that I did want to mention in this story, there is mention that the Game Awards will have 40 to 50 games.
Now, the people at home can't see that. I was looking at my dog. I gave Shelby a very dramatic head turn
Yes,
there.
you did. You whipped that hair around. But I think the thing that is worth mentioning here, or what I've come to terms with, is that Keighley now owns what E3 used to be.
Yeah, E3 needs to go. I've been saying that for a while.
And I've been holding my breath. I thought E3 would eventually come back. I mean, they're E3.
Just give it to Keighley. He's doing a fine job.
Keighley has eaten their lunch, man.
In Keighley, I trust.
I mean, I know that it's November, so the Game Awards is right around the corner. I watched it last year. I'll watch it this year. It takes place December 9th, so mark your calendars for that. I'm excited. I'm ready for it.
Well,
and I won't even need my crypto app open to buy anything while I'm doing it. Yeah. So I guess before we leave this cast, I need to get a new game on the PlayStation 4.
Oh, we should have done this a while ago.
So I'm thinking 13 Sentinels.
No. I don't think that's a Shelby game.
Not
I know
so much.
Jan loved it, but
you wouldn't do that.
You liked ActRaiser, and there's that weird aspect to Act. Why aren't you asking to play the new ActRaiser?
Ooh,
the remastered
ActRaiser, because that's not on my list, man.
How is it not?
On my backlog.
I guess okay.
That would be added next year.
So it's currently on your backlog.
There's a process to the madness. Here we go. I've set up a camel site, which I didn't know was a thing until recently. Camel is a website where you can go in and mark a whole bunch of things on Amazon, and it will tell you when it hits its lowest price.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to buy one of those games. It's going to be FF7. It's going to be...
My vote's FF7
Sentinels.
remake. Yeah.
Is it? FF7? Persona 5's on this list.
Well,
they're
really both big JRPGs, and if you're going to do a big JRPG, I think we wait for JRPG July.
Oh, Last of Us Part 2.
Oh, and you did do Last of Us. You know what? It'd be very fitting, because you did Last of Us last year in our first year, and you did if you did Last of Us Part 2 right now, I think that'd be good.
Perfect. That is the plan then. I will pick up Last of Us Part 2 for the PlayStation, and I already have games going on my PC and my Xbox that I'm playing right now, so that is going to be the next one on the PlayStation list is Last of Us Part 2.
I love it. Now, so feel free to get prepared to feel sad and scared. I mean, it's a lot of death and about a pandemic, basically.
I actually was thinking about playing that game for Halloween, but I missed my window on that one. Yeah. Oh well. So I'm going to play it for Christmas.
Nice and lighthearted.
But this has been a very fun episode.
Yeah,
we've covered
a lot of places. A lot of dark places.
We went a lot of places. We were there. It all started with sugar onions, and it ended on random questions.
I think we might edit out those random questions and go to the end.
The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be the next game I play. We put the final touches on a handful of games, so thank you for being with us. Thank you for being back. We are going to close out. Anything else that you have, Mr. Cool?
Please follow us on socials in the descriptions below and join our Discord. We're trying to build a little community. We want to talk to other gamer dads, dudes, parents, friends, that want to just come in and chat it up and give us their hot takes on video games. Everybody is welcome, as long as you're not a turd.
For sure. And in regards to the disc, if you're a turd coming anyway, we'll polish you up. No, one thing that's cool about the Discord is seeing CK do his extra live stream. He has been a supporter of the community for years, and for him to come in and say, hey, I'm doing this thing. I know I jumped on there. I think Case jumped on there, and there was a couple of other people from our Discord that made their way over. So CK, well done. Really appreciate you. And check us out on Discord, follow us on socials. Casey mentioned that. Feel free to leave us a review, 5 stars, if you would be so kind. And that is a wrap for this week. We are out.
Play your game.